What up, guys? How you doing? Jason Heine here, Emulator Review, coming at you with a Hangin' with Heine episode. And in this episode, I'm doing something brand new. This is kind of fun. I'm doing a question and answer. So what I'm going to do is take questions from 3 different social media websites. I'm going to be taking it from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And so with this episode, I'm going to start with Facebook. I did a post on there asking people to ask the questions in the comment section and tag it, hashtag Hangin' with Heine, and I would get to it. So let's go ahead and get started. First questions from our good friend here, Xander. He asked, what is your favorite video game drum beat? Sir, I have an answer for that. Man, that's amazing. I swear, like, when I first played this game, every time I played this game, I probably paused the game for like an hour every time and just listened to the drum beat. He didn't say drum song, he said drum beat, and that right there is probably the sickest beat that I've heard back in the day. I love it. Simple, but effective. And next question here, Tyler asked, I've heard rumors that Harmonix may be bringing back Rock Band to the PS4 and Xbox One. Plastic instruments and all. Do you think that is too early for this, since the market was so saturated with the music rhythm simulation games a few years ago? I think that is a huge market. It's kind of like Call of Duty market status. It's huge. And I mean, you remember like a few years ago, you couldn't get away without seeing something from Rock Band or Guitar Hero or Rocksmith. Everyone's getting into that sort of thing. So I'm just happy that the last few years we haven't really been bombarded with it. Is it going to make a return? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's an opportunity here. They're going to take it. They have to. That's their franchise. So and that's their brand. That's their baby. Am I all jazzed about it? Pun intended. No, not really. I'm pretty much like Guitar Hero 2 back in the day on PS2. Watching my brother play that. But, other than that, it's weird too because I'm a musician, right? I like music, but I don't really care for the music games per se. And it's kind of a sad thing because you go into any thrift store, Goodwill, whatever, you're going to find at least a handful, 3 to 4 guitars just dead. And you're going to find 2 or 3 broken ass drum sets there with the cymbals ripped off and just everything screwed up, and so it's like, wow, it's like a graveyard in there. Next question is from my good friend Brandon. He asked, if you could erase all memory of one game and one album to be able to experience it again, what would it be? Oh my gosh, that's really difficult. Wow. I would probably say, as far as music is concerned, I would go with, nothing new. I would want to go back. I was really, really young when this album was blowing up and becoming something, but I wish I could go back to when Michael Jackson's Thriller album came out and just be old enough to comprehend what was happening at the time and the songs that were being played and everyone just enjoying it, and it was on the radio and it was going to #1 and it was changing the world, and we watched this Thriller video, which was like the most highest production value and most expensive music video ever to be made at the time, and like how it just changed the world. I wish I could have been around to experience that. I mean, I was there in the late 80s and when it was still relevant and people still loved it, but I wish I could have been there for when it was happening exactly at the same time. Like, that would have been so cool. And then as far as the video game, I wish I could go back to 1991 and just relive the launch of the Super Nintendo. I didn't get the Super Nintendo at launch. They were like unavailable and we couldn't get one. But what we would do is we would go to our local video store, which was a mom and pop video store, Paramount Video, rest in peace, love them. But we would rent the console and whatever games they had there. And we would always get Super Mario World, and I would get Super Adventure Island and UN Squadron. Amazing games. They hold a special spot in my heart. But I wish I could go back to 91 and the launch of that and just renting it and bringing the case home and opening it up, the clamshell case, which I collect, by the way. I love those and I collect those. and the console's in there, and the controllers are in there, and the game's in there, and it's like, oh, it's just the most amazing thing. I hated returning it. Like, I felt like crying every time we had to return it. It was that special to me. I would love to go back to that time. Nathan asks, what are your thoughts on the Rise of the Tomb Raider? Rise of the Tomb Raider. Is that what it's called? I didn't know that, actually. I thought it was just called Tomb Raider. Okay, what are your thoughts on Rise of the Tomb Raider being announced as an Xbox One exclusive, despite the series being a huge multi-platform success in the past, which sold especially well on PlayStation consoles? Yeah, I agree with you, Nathan. When I think Tomb Raider, I think PlayStation, because that's pretty much where I fell in love with Tomb Raider. That's where my fantasy in the bedroom with Lara Croft happened, was on the PlayStation 1 with very square and pixelated boobies. But I think the exclusive stuff going on here, probably not good. I mean, obviously they're happy about it. Microsoft is happy about it, but I don't see a reason why that. I don't see any way that could be successful to them when Tomb Raider is a multi-platform game. I mean, you nailed it. That's it. It needs to be on all the consoles. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't even know what to say. It doesn't make sense to me. I wish they just why are we even doing that? Why are we doing that? Next question here we got from Jordan, and he asked, what game is at the very top of your wanted list? The one game you have to look for every time you go out hunting. Very good question. I have a lot of games that I'm on the hunt for, and I don't really have like a list. I know I should probably put one together. It's kind of in my head. Like, I know what I'm looking for, especially when I'm there and I see it or whatnot. But I will tell you, I do have one thing I'm looking for. It's not necessarily a game. Well, I guess it kind of is a game. It's an Action Replay Max for the Nintendo GameCube. That's the one that has the disc, and it also has the memory card, and it has the ability to put in your own cheat codes. So there's two different kinds. There's an Action Replay, which I believe is just a memory card? It's one or the other. It's either just the memory card or just the disc. I don't remember, but the Max has both. It's a little different, and you can put in your own codes. Reason I want this is because, like, last year, F-Zero GX for GameCube, they found that through certain codes that you'd enter into it, you're able to play F-Zero AX, which is the arcade version of the game. I don't know how in the hell someone found this. I have any idea, but they never ported AX. It's basically kind of like GX, but it's never available on consoles. I want that game so bad. Everyone wants that game. So this $5 to $15 Action Replay, $15 being like the most pristine thing you've ever seen, like brand new in the package, went from that to like $100, $80 to $100. Last year I was in Portland and I found one at a video game store, which will remain nameless. And on there it said working and all this sort of thing. I bought it. It was kind of expensive. I took it home. It did not work. I could not get the disc to load. I tried it on 4 different GameCubes and 2 different Nintendo Wiis, and it would not load. So I took it back, and they wouldn't take it back. And long story short, through all the headache and hassle and this and that, they returned it. But not the best experience there, but at least I got my money back in order to try to find another one somewhere. I really want one. That's what I'm looking for greatly. I hope to find one sometime soon. If any of you come across one or know someone that has one and wants to get rid of it, at a fair price, I'm not going to pay $80 or $100. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. I'll find one in the wild somewhere. I want to find someone who just has one that doesn't know about it ultimately, but it's probably not going to happen. Next question here is from Gracious. Oh, man. Welcome to Jason Heine. Let's butcher your fucking name. My last name's Heine. People fuck it up all the time. So it's okay, and I'm sorry that I'm just butchering your name. Gracious. Man, I'm so sorry. Anyway, he asked, I have 4 questions. Okay, I'll answer your 4 questions because I just fucked up your name. 4 questions. 1, quick draw. Who was your first music artist? Easy. When I was born, my parents brought me out of the hospital, took me to the car. They sat down in their car. It was a Tornado. They turned on the car. The radio came on. The first song that hit my ears was Africa by Toto. And love that song. But that was the first song ever, other than maybe hospital music. No. First song to ever hit my ears was that. Next question he has was, who's your favorite music artist? Oh, that's so hard to answer. I can't answer that actually because it really goes on my mood. As a musician, I like many different styles of music, and it all really revolves around my mood and how I'm feeling. Someday I want to slow jam and I want to chill out with some smooth jazz or classic jazz. Someday I want to go crazy and listen to some metal or rock and this and that. I want to listen to something groovy. I'll listen to some EDM, listen to some of my roots, some of the gangster rap and hip hop from the 90s. It just really depends. So I don't really have a favorite artist. Really can't pick that. All right, and the next question here, who or what made you want to become a music artist? It's kind of a long story, but I'll do the short version. Basically, I didn't really expect or want to become an artist per se. I got a drum set for Christmas when I was 14, and it was random. I didn't make the basketball team in high school as a freshman, and I was really depressed about that because I played basketball through my entire life, and I wanted to be a basketball player. Well, of course, we all have dreams, right? I didn't make the team, so I was depressed for like a year. So at Christmas time, my parents bought me a drum set. Random. Didn't even ask for it. Changed my fucking life. Changed my life. And from that day forward, when I started playing, and coordination was just happened. And then I realized when I was playing, like my friends and people and stuff, I'd play in the garage and stuff. People were dancing, like grooving and having a good time. I thought, what? I created this by hitting these things? Fuck this. I want to be a part of this. So from that day forward, I wanted to be a part of it. So pretty much anything related to music was my life. I love it. And it's my life for sure. And that's kind of when that happened, when I saw the people dancing and people having a good time, I thought, I want to be a part of this. And sure enough, it's been my life. Changed my life. And the last question he has here, number 4, he says, if you could work with any artist, who would it be? Well, if I could work with any artist, man. I think I would really enjoy working with Pharrell Williams, for sure. Neptunes, specifically Neptunes days and NERD days. So not like pre-Happy days. Most people know him now as the guy that wrote Happy, but people don't realize even he's been in the game for like 20 years doing stuff, from R&B to hip hop to you name it. I mean, just type in the Neptunes in YouTube, and you will find so much out there. He's an incredible musician, very talented. We share a lot of things in common. He's also a drummer. He was in pep band as a kid, and band really changed his life. Same sort of story that I've got. It's a really interesting story about him. So, but I would love to just have a session with him and just to play drums for him. Not that he even would need it, but just to be involved in that. I would love that. It'd be really, really cool. And my friend George here. What up, George? He asks, who is your favorite drummer? Oh, okay, 3. I have 3. First, Brad Wilk, Rage Against the Machine, Audio Slave, that whole scene. He changed my life. Changed my life. Because when I started playing, Rage Against the Machine had already been out for a while, but I was really getting into Evil Empire at the time, and he really bridged the gap between my gangster rap and hip hop that I was raised on to, wow, this is like guitars and real instruments, and there's a whole world here I didn't even know. So he broadened my horizon. He is my inspiration. I have a lot of similarities when I drum with fills and stuff like that, and just the groove that I learned from listening to him play. So Brad Wilk, the next drummer, without a doubt, would be Questlove from The Roots. I've been a fan of him for many, many years, and he's just an amazing drummer. He has one of the best feels on the kit. The feel that he has is unmatched. It's just amazing how he can play and just get that true groove. A drummer can drum and play and it'll sound fine, but then there's a drummer that can actually play, and musicians know what I'm talking about, and he can actually play. It's amazing. So him, and then lastly would be Phil Collins. I think Phil is an incredible talent. He does so many things. He's a jack of all trades, but I love his drumming. Like the 80s and 90s, like that gated snare and those big fat kick drums and those huge nasty tom fills. Like he's not the huge like flashy drummer that you expect, and I don't even like big flashy drummers with millions of drums. I want a drummer that can just fucking play. Ooh, those guys got it. So those are my 3 favorite drummers there. Next question from Shinobi. He asked, have you ever watched the movie Purple Rain? If so, what are your thoughts on it? Or just Prince in general? I'm sorry, I have not watched the movie. I know what's wrong with me. I should, because I'm a big 80s fanatic. And I love 80s music too. But I love Prince. I listened to Prince for years. He's funky. He knows how to ride hooks. He's just a great talent. I love Prince. And definitely going to have to check that movie out, because it's kind of like his life story, right? I think it is. From what I read, it's like the story of Prince, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Last question here, guys, is from Nicholas, and he asks, if you had one band to play a 1-hour session with, a band or singer, who would you choose to jam with? I know I've already mentioned The Roots with Questlove, but I would have to say I wish I could jam with a band like The Roots or The Roots, because I love a band where every musician is just stellar, extremely talented, 100% hones their skill, is dedicated and confident in their playing. So we can just sit down together and just do something, and it works out. That's the kind of band and group I would love to sit down with and just have fun. I want a full horn section. I want a full string section. I want a fucking orchestra up in this bitch. I want backup singers. You know what I'm saying? That would be awesome. Just to have a nice full sound, full orchestra, and the band there. That'd be awesome. Deep down, I've always wanted to sit in with David Letterman on a late show. I would love to sit down with Paul and just play. Like, I wish I could just play one song with him, you know? That'd be awesome. So who knows? Maybe someday I'll get an opportunity to do that. He's obviously going off air next year, but that would be awesome to sit in on like a Tonight Show or late show and just play with the band. So guys, thanks for hanging out. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been a lot of fun. My first time ever doing a real live Q&A. This has been posted on my Facebook with the hashtag Hangin with Heine. The next one is going to be on my Twitter. I'm going to take Twitter questions, so make sure to follow me there. It's at the EMU Review. And then also, I'm on Instagram, guys. I just signed up for that a few weeks ago, so follow me there. The name is jason.heine, so follow me there, and we'll be doing some more Q&As. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for the great questions, you guys. Oh my God, stumped me a few of them. That's difficult. You guys are awesome. Take care, and we'll see you again. And you just got done hanging out with Heine.